right here. Bam. Oh, we don't need this. Jay doesn't need a lighter. This is what Jay's got going on. Plus, we might try this. Plus, we do have a little bit of this. It wasn't focusing. But we wanted to say thank you to my wife's coworker who brought us this. Jay's not old enough to have any yet, to try it, but it was delicious, right? Dami didn't try it. Dami was like adamantly saying that he did not want it, but I had one yesterday and it was delicious. So thank you to Mr. Chandler. All right, here we go. You say, look, Daddy, this one's not so hot, huh? Sometimes the, well, you got apple there, pumpkin. I like the flavor. Actually, I haven't tried this, so I don't know if it's any good. Should I try it? No, I'm not gonna eat your food. This is yours. This is yours. Let me pull up a chair, bud. Okay. Your brother, he is still sleeping. Your little bro. Good job, bro. Mm-hmm. Is it tasty? I've already noticed, like, you know, it's the second time around. First time with Damia, you know, it's my first kid. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but at least, you know, I've gone through certain things and it's like, okay, it's familiar. I remember this. I remember when your teeth were coming out, or your brother's teeth were coming out. Oh. Okay. Oh, this is not for eating, sir. This is not for eating. Thank you. Oops. Good job, bud. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I had this too, like where my scalp just dries out, and he's got it hardcore. I put some lotion on here. I've noticed even when I put lotion on it, still, my scalp just dries out. Well, we do live in the desert too, though. It's dry in the desert. Shout out to Archie Luxury. No, I remember I used to follow him, I think over a decade ago. And I appreciate the fact that he's still on YouTube. You know, he's one of those guys that, like, just as far as creativity is concerned, man, he knocks it out of the park, bro. Knocks it out of the park. And I like him. I like it, you know, I feel like he's the kind of guy who does, maybe he's outspoken, but you know, he vocalizes his opinion, and that's what it is. And, you know, don't necessarily have to agree with him, but we do appreciate his content. We really do. Okay, do you want to try a different one? Let's try the prunes, just for fun. This was a little liquidy yesterday. Let's try mixing that up. I am very grateful that things are starting to really come together for my wife. I'm very happy for her. I really am. And she put a lot of effort and hard work, and there's so much behind the scenes that she's done to really kind of bring everything together. You know, a lot of people don't realize that there's so much work that's done behind closed doors, and, you know, when other people are sleeping and, you know, goofing off, my wife is working hard. So I hope the people around her finally see that, finally acknowledge that. Yes. See, I'm sure this one's good. Get a little bit. Right now we're just doing a little bit of the then we'll probably do a bottle too, right? Just do a bottle too. We're doing it, both of them at the moment. We're doing both at the moment. Yeah. You're doing such a good job, bud. I appreciate it. I know right now you're like, why is this guy filming stuff? But, you know, later on, I didn't, you know, back in the 80s when I was growing up, bro, it was, yeah, there was like camcorders and stuff, but you pretty much had to be like rich to record stuff. And now anyone can do it. You know, you can look back on these videos 4 decades from now and be like, you know what? Thank you, Dad, for filming this so I can show my kids, my grandkids. First you have to have kids, and then, because you gotta have kids to have grandkids. I know it sounds silly, but no, what did Archie say today that I appreciate? When your neighbor loses his job, that's a recession. When you lose your job, that's a depression. That's absolutely true. It captures kind of how things are. Like, when things happen to you, it's the end of the world, right? But when it happens to your neighbor, you're like, it's not a big deal, bro. It's not a big deal. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's that human element, that psychological factor that everyone's like, it's all right when it's someone else, but when it's me, right? When I get caught, no, I don't want to poke fun, but I was thinking, you know, what if supporters of this young lady, no, I'm just saying, maybe some people do actually believe, you know, a Russian prison is better than the United States. I mean, all you would have to do is buy an airplane ticket and a vape cartridge, and then they would support you for 10 years. You know, you might want to ask them though, after those 10 years, do you get citizenship to Russia? No, I said that, you know, I'm really bad. I'm naughty. I'm really naughty, because I thought so. I wouldn't say this. I mean, I know I'm vocalizing it on the internet, but it was just a silly idea. I was like, what if there was someone who's like, yo, I could just buy all these people who are in hard times, I'll buy them an airplane ticket and then a vape cartridge, and then, you know, when they get to Russia, who knows, maybe those people, like, maybe they needed a different way of being treated, you know? Like, I'm just saying, like, what if the problem we have is just a communication barrier, and some people need things to be principles or ideas to be communicated in a different manner. You know, we do things a certain way here in the U.S., and they do certain things a different way in Russia, and there's nothing to say one is right or one is wrong. You know, each is effective in their own style, depending on the people that they're attempting to communicate with, right? Because everything is reciprocal. You know, I've learned just as much from my 2 sons as they have taught me, and I realize that's kind of how life is, right? But however much effort you put in is how much effort you get out. So I appreciate this time that I've spent with you, Jay, and with Dominic. He's still sleeping, but I appreciate the time I've been able to spend with both of you. I've learned so much. This has absolutely been the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. Being a stay-at-home dad has been the most difficult thing I've ever done, and I've gotten paid the least amount of money, which is zero. But you know what? Oh, and I've actually had to sell off 90% of everything that I've owned in my whole life. But the reality is it was worth it, because I got to do the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And, you know, in the words of Matt Christensen, he's absolutely right. If you are lacking meaning or purpose in your life, start a family. You know, if you want meaning and purpose, start a family. It's as simple as that. It really is. Because you're the future, bud. And I want to make an impact on the future. That's how I'm just weird like that. You know, I'm like, yo, maybe when I'm gone, maybe there's a couple of people that I helped raise. You know, I think that's, if someone says, what's my goal as a parent? It's to see the shortcomings of the individuals who are alive today, and to make attempts to try to help the next generation overcome those hurdles. And who knows, maybe my efforts will help the next generation overcome a problem that's been plaguing mankind for a while. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Or maybe it's just me. That's what I've been thinking too. Maybe it's just me. I might be just a silly guy. A silly guy that's like, what? What? There should be a profession. There should be a profession called raising and nurturing and caring for and preparing the next generation. And that's probably the most important profession on planet Earth. I think it's true. I think it's true. No one else has to believe me. No one else even has to pay me. That's where I'm at. And I'm okay with that. I really am. I mean, granted, I'm very fortunate to have a wife who can support me, because my retirement pension wouldn't be able to support even myself. So at the end of the day, I am entitled, but at least I acknowledge the fact that I am blessed to have someone who can take care of me. And I'm grateful for that. And that's why I realized, you know, I wake up every day and work every single day until the day I die. As long as I'm able to do what I'm doing right now. Be a positive influence on the next generation. Try to be as supporting and loving to my wife as I possibly can. Be a positive influence on the community I live in. That's all I want to do. You know, and just help people realize, you know, go through the steps in your mind. You know, you did something. All right, what's the next step? I don't know why this popped in my head this morning. The gentleman who ran Hotel Rwanda, you know, that's how he saved all those people. You know, and I mean, there were absolutely mobs of people that came to the hotel to like massacre everyone. He's like, just think it through in your head. Like, he was a reasonable man. You know, and that's, I think, a lot of times being reasonable is what pierces through all the noise of just people being loud and just trying to be influential but not really having much to say. And I think when you're reasonable, you kind of pierce through that. You know, he was right. You know, all of the hysteria ends. And then what you're left with are consequences of your actions that you can't excuse away with hysteria, because hysteria is a momentary thing, right? Emotions and feelings are a momentary thing, but your actions penetrate into your eternity, bud, into your, right? No one's gonna answer for your actions the same way you're not gonna answer for mine. And that's what I've come to realize. I'm like, you know, we're all living our own lives. You can't tell me. It's all going back to the Archie luxury, it's your perspective, right? When you lose your job, that's the end of your world is shaken, right? When your neighbor loses his job, well, you're just like, okay, that's an inconvenience for me. Not even really, because I just have to be like, oh, that sucks, bro. Let me see if I can try to help you find a job. But at the end of the day, if I have my job, it's not as much of an impact on me. And I realize that's like everything. So I'm hoping I can be a positive influence with my actions. I hope that my actions live on. And you see that I care about you and I love you. Thank you for today, bud. Now we're going to make a bottle. I'm going to say thank you to the people who joined us. Thank you for everyone who made today possible. It was not myself. I was just present and I put in the effort. But everyone else put in the... my wife created you. There's people who made all the items that we're using right now. Whether they're people or machines, thank you to everyone. Right? Because I realized no one lives in a bubble. Right? Think about all the millions of people who had to make things, or thousands, right? Maybe I'm exaggerating, but there's a lot of things, even in a small little house that we have, there's a lot of things that had to be made. Every single thing here had to be shaped and purposely built so that we could then purchase it and use it and have it here today. I love you, bud. All right. Have a blessed day.